Hi everyone, it's Ellen, the Family History Hound, and I want to talk to you about 23andMe. Now, I've seen so many posts over the last few months where everybody says 23andMe is out of business, etc. And that's not true. They're still in business and they're still selling DNA kits. I've seen them at RootsTech. So don't forget about your results at 23andMe. And they've been trying, I think, pretty hard to improve the customer experience as well as help genealogists. And maybe they weren't as involved with genealogists before, but they certainly are now. And so one of the things that I've seen is that you can use colored dots to organize your matches, which is something that I really am going to embrace, because one of the things that I found a little bit of a struggle at 23andMe was I could write notes about people that I matched, and I could tell, right where we connect and that kind of thing. But there was no real way of not having to go and look at all those notes beforehand to rediscover them all over again. So now I can put colored dots and maybe get a better idea of how some of the other people that I match, how we connect through those clusters. So let's have a look. So here I am at the home page, and you'll see that I have an upgrade that I can do, and they'll also tell me some new things about my biological age. I didn't really get involved with the health portion of my DNA with 23andMe. When I initially did a DNA test with 23andMe, I was really more interested about, fishing in all the ponds and getting all those DNA matches, just in case, some of my matches were only interested in their health. I didn't really want to know about my health because my mother has or had dementia and then ultimately died from Alzheimer's, and I didn't really want to know anything about that. But I did finally upgrade, and I did blog about that, and I'll put a link to the blog in the show notes of this video. But let's concentrate on ancestry and let's look at those DNA relatives. So here I am at my match list. I've put a blurring tool on my match list. This is a Chrome extension from my friend Dan Maloney. He has a blurring tool which is free, and it's great for when you're presenting on DNA and you want to keep things anonymous. He also has a Chrome extension called Genealogy Assistant that you can try for free for 30 days. And then after that, it's a small amount each month, just a little over a couple of bucks a month. So you might want to check those Chrome extensions out. So what do we do? So we go up to the top and you'll see Add Manage Groups. Then we're going to create a new group, and then I'm going to change it to Beaten Batten Mystery, and I'm done. Now the Beaten Batten Mystery is my great-grandfather was adopted, and I didn't know that at first when I started, but I learned that he was adopted, and from my DNA matches, I was able to figure out who his parents were. So this is kind of a thing that you would use. This is a tool that you would use for figuring out things like that. And I was never able to really organize the 23andMe matches very well to show that they were part of the Beaten Batten Mystery. So we've created that. Now we can go through the match list and highlight the people that are part of the Beaten Batten Mystery. So you'll see here, I check mark this second person. She is the great granddaughter of William Beaton, and then I just check it and I put a plus sign, and now she's a part of that group. So now you see that MC has that little red dot beside her name. So if we look at the people that MC and I have in common, they should be through the Cotman line or the Beaton line, because that's how we connect. So anybody that we have in common either comes from the Beaton side of the family or the Cotman side of the family, but we don't know, and we'll have to do some filtering after just to figure that out. So I've clicked on her profile, and as I scroll down, you can see it gives you an idea of how we might connect. And in fact, we do connect through my great grandparent, so William Beaton, and she is my second cousin's child, so she's once removed. As we scroll a little bit farther, you can see that we share 174 centimorgans. And remember that little Chrome extension that I talked about? Well, this is giving me a link because of that extension where I can go and look and get a more in-depth look at what 174 centimorgans looks like. So, think about that Chrome extension. It's actually pretty useful. You'll also see that there's family background, and it'll tell you about myself and my match. I'm not going to show it because I want to keep that anonymous, and some of the information wouldn't make it anonymous. But if you have a 23andMe account, it's pretty important, I think, to put as much information as you can so you can help your cousins out. So now we're at the good stuff, and these are the matches that we have in common, and we're going to add them to that beaten bat mystery. So we click on add, and then we can highlight the people. Now, remember, I'm saying that these people are involved in the beaten bat mystery, but not necessarily. They are just people that we have in common, and we have them in common because of the Cotman line and the beaten line. So we're going to highlight them all, and then we're going to have to do some filtering. But we check the boxes, and then we add them. And then we want to go to the next page, and again check all the boxes. And I believe there's with the tool I can actually check all the boxes, but I'm not going to learn how to do it just right now, but because I am doing this a little bit on the fly. And so we're going to add them to the list too. So now you see that I have 21 matches in that beaten patent mystery cluster. Now again, we're back at the main match list, and you can see now I have more people that have that little red dot. But remember, they're Cotmans and Beatons that are connected to me and this person that I'm comparing to. So some of these people are from the Cotman line and not necessarily part of the Beaton line, and that's what I really want to get at. So you can see this one here, I know from my notes that he's from the Cotman line. So I can go into here and look at his profile. Now you see, similar to so many matches, I have put my information, but he hasn't put anything. So now we're going to do one more thing. Now we're looking at his matches. So now we're going to create a new group. We're going to call it Cotman. And then we're going to give all of these matches a Cotman button. And we click the plus sign, then we go to the next page. And plus sign. So now we're done. So now I can go back and look at my matches that have only the red dot. That means that they are only connected through the beaten line. So I know there wasn't a lot, so I'm going to keep working at it. But I think more importantly, this tool now allows me to identify clearly without having to look into the person's profile, read my notes, and that, etc. And so this is a much handier, more visual tool for looking at your matches. So in this case, the top person, JT, I know they fall within the matches of Annado's side of my family. So I can give them a new dot and find the people that are in common that way. And it just makes it so much easier to look at your matches and know which ones you've identified and which ones you haven't identified, and work from there. I hope you found this video helpful, and hope you go back to your 23andMe results and start trying out the dot system and see what it can do for you. I'd love to hear what you think. Have a great day.